Hello, everybody. It's Kieran here at Magical Traveller. Hope you're having a great day. And today I have a very special guest with us who's going to tell us all about APT and Travel Marvel. So, Becky, do you want to say hello to everyone? Introduce yourself.
Hi guys, it's lovely to be here with you today. My name's Becky. I'm a business development manager at APT and APT Travelmarvel, and I've worked for the company now for just over 4.5 years through the pandemic, which was interesting. However, now we're definitely coming, out the other side, and there's so much going on at APT Travelmarvel. So thank you, Kieran, for letting me be here today to talk about all our wonderful products and
No,
itineraries.
thank you for coming on. I think so. For us, I think my introduction to APT Travel Marvel was we did the Clear River Cruise conference last year, and we got to spend some time on. Was it Vega that was there? It was one of the newest Travel Marvel ship that was launched at the time.
Yeah, that's right. We had the Vega in Budapest for
Yes.
for guests to embark on their maiden journey. But because the trade is so important to us,
Mm,
you guys, our relationship, we decided to let travel agents and home workers and everybody have a little look around
yeah.
before the guests even got on. So you
Yeah.
guys had the opportunity to get on and have a look around, which is, super exciting for us. And we're so pleased with the feedback that we received about these
Yeah.
beautiful new ships.
It definitely stood out, and I think river cruising is an amazing product, and we can talk more about like river cruising in general. But I think with what you've got with the Travel Marvel ships, at least anyway, they're a little bit different as well to all the other river cruise ships. You've got kind of that Irish bar at the back of it as well, which is such an iconic feature, I think, of the ship as well, which I think sets the tone as well then for kind of what the ship is about and the atmosphere on board as well. So I think when some people maybe think that river cruising is a little bit stuffy and a bit more formal, definitely didn't get that vibe on board the ship. And we were only on for about an hour or so, but definitely instantly the first impression I got was this is a really lovely, relaxed, lovely way to kind of travel and to be able to explore the rivers of Europe on that ship, I think would be quite incredible.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, out there is a river cruise for everybody, depending on your requirements, there is a river cruise out there for everybody. But what we love about Travel Marvel is the fact that it does give people that amazing, contemporary experience. The ships have been purpose built and designed for the waterways of Europe. They are modern, they are state of the art, built in a beautiful contemporary style. And a lot of people have been saying it feels like a boutique hotel experience. And what I love, as I've mentioned before, is the Irish bar. I love that too, because I think, it's really important now that we give people choice. And historically on most river cruise lines, you just have, the main lounge and in there you'll have your bar area where you can, engage with your fellow passenger. However, with the Travel Marvel ships now having that additional venue at the rear of the ship, having happy hour, between 6 and 7 every day before you go down for your dinner, it's just another venue for people to enjoy, and it gives people choice. What do you want to do? Sit in the lounge, talk to the passengers, watch some entertainment, or do you want to go back to the McGeary's bar and have a little bit of a pub experience, and watch some sport on TV or play some bar games, and just be in a bit of a different sort of environment, really, compared to the lounge.
Amazing. I loved it. It was so great. So where do you want to begin then, Becky? Do you want to go through this couple of slides you've sent over and kind of have a chat about the brand, or do you want to show off one of your beautiful ships first?
Shall we start off with the video first? Let's show everybody the beautiful video, because that's the most exciting bit. I can talk about Travel Marvel all day, but I think visually it's great
Yeah.
to see it in action. So let's have a little look at the video
All right.
first.
Let's have a little look at this then.
Oh, I just love it so much.
It's
Oh my
taking me
God.
back. I remember sitting in that sofa by the TV at the front of the ship, and I was like, "Oh," and I got that little tingling moment of like, "This is quite special." I remember exactly where I was watching it. I was like, "This is something special about this brand, definitely."
Oh, it's great to hear. I mean, historically, Travel Marvel was, well, we sell it as a premium 4-star product, and that's obviously the experience that everybody would have. Now, we don't sell it as a 5-star, but because these new ships are so beautiful, lots of people have said the feedback that we've got from passengers over the past year has been, yes, they've paid a premium 4-star price for it, but it feels like a 5-star,
Yeah,
in terms of the hardware, it feels like a 5-star
yeah.
experience. So
I was
we are,
definitely
as a
shocked when you
company,
said it
so
was
proud.
4-star.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So just on that, actually, Kieran, I just thought it would be good to mention actually the differences between the two brands that we do offer in the UK,
Yeah.
just for your viewers,
Mhm.
because there are two styles of travel that we have as a company, and the first one is obviously Travel Marvel. This is our premium 4-star brand. This is about so much included, but a little element of free time built into the itinerary as well. So it's not so much a handheld experience. People can enjoy those excursions, but they'll also have time to go off and do their own thing. Alternatively, we do have an APT luxury brand as well, which we do sell as a 5-star product. And this is for somebody that wants to be handheld. They want that pickup from home, and they want everything included, including drinks, fine dining, and excursions that they can pick and choose as well. So we do have two styles, but today is all about Travel Marvel, because we do have these 3 beautiful new ships on the waterways. So operating from Amsterdam down to Budapest the majority of the time. And we have a variety of 7-night and 14-night itineraries as well. So Travel Marvel is a focus for us, and it's the one that's really grabbing people's attention at
Mm.
the moment.
Fab, cool. Okay, if I pop your slides on screen, let me put us back into that view. There we go. And then yeah, so if you want to just let me know what you want to go through, and then we can have a chat as we go along.
Yeah, that's lovely. So we do class ourselves as the experts in river cruising. We have got a long history as a company. So we started out in Melbourne, Australia in 1927. So we're celebrating our 95th anniversary in business today. So we have seen, a majority of things throughout the years in terms of
Yeah.
volcanic ash clouds and now a pandemic. But we are most importantly a privately owned and a family owned company as well. So we have a wonderful family called the Megiris who started APT in 1927 in Melbourne. And we have just evolved through the years into what we are today, which is a global business offering river cruise and escorted touring. River cruise is our number one product. So that's obviously the main focus for me as a BDM to talk about
Mm,
river cruise. Now, if we just obviously switch to the next slide, please, Kieran. There you go. And you
there you
can see that everything that you'll ever see in terms of Travel Marvel will be under a blue banner. So if you're ever looking at anything in terms of, offers or anything like that that you guys are sharing, if you see it's got a blue banner, that means it's a Travel Marvel product. And if you see something that you guys are sharing that is an APT luxury, it will be a gold banner. So that's quite easy to tell the difference between the
mm,
two products. But as I said, we're going to talk about Travel Marvel today. So if we just switch to the next slide. I just want to go over what we actually include within our product. So, of course, we're going to include those flights from the United Kingdom, and we can offer regional flights as well. We do have, the most stunning hardware on the river. They're 3 brand new ships that launched in 2021, and they are, as I said, getting the most incredible feedback. You're going to get your food completely included. So that starts off with early riser or late riser meals, or pastries, I should say. Then you've got your wonderful buffet breakfast with your egg station and your Bucks Fizz if you want it. And then you've got your main meal in the main restaurant, the beautiful Constellations restaurant, or your light lunch in the True North Lounge, or you can go to McGeary's Irish Pub and have a light lunch in there. And then you've got your afternoon tea, which is always a highlight for everybody. And this is something
mm.
that's found in the True North Lounge. And there's no better way to enjoy an afternoon tea when you're cruising along the river, looking
Yeah.
at all the beautiful scenery. And then later on, you've obviously got your gourmet meal in the main restaurant, or you can go to McGeary's for a light dinner, and then your late night snacks at the end of the night as well. And then just to top you over the bed, your chocolate on your pillow when you get back at the end of the evening. So the food is completely included. And then we do include complimentary beverages with lunch and dinner. Outside of those times, drinks are at a cost, but they're very, very competitive in terms of price.
Yeah.
We also offer excursions as well, and you can add additional excursions on if you want. And of course, those transfers, port charges, and all tips included for crew on board the ship and those local experts that we use in the destinations as well. So much is included, but like I
Yeah.
said, Travel Marvel does give you that element of free time as well.
Yeah. I think that's that thing that I took away when we did our river cruise experience was it's surprising how much is included. And I think when you do see the price, obviously it's priced differently compared to maybe people who've experienced ocean, just
Yeah.
because ocean is very much you're paying for the fare, and then obviously there's very little excursions and all the extras aren't included. Whereas river being a smaller ship, you're getting a small ship experience, it was a lot more intimate, but also that kind of more time in port as well to kind of explore the local towns. You may also possibly do more than one town in one day on some itineraries as well. So you're getting to see multiple places. I know on the river we did, we kind of stopped off at one port. The ship went on ahead of us. We were then coached down to join the ship later on then. So that you do get a lot more time away as well. And you can't underestimate as well the value of having those excursions included. I'm not massively big on excursions, but I did every single excursion that I could. And I was so much more enriched by my experience because I got to experience things that I probably would never normally do because it was included in the cruise in the fare. And then, as you say,
Mm.
then there's options to upgrade that as well. If you want to go and do the kind of more further afield or the smaller stuff as well, you can totally tailor make that to you and your style of river cruising as well.
Yeah, definitely. The excursions are a big part of a river cruise
Mm.
experience. We're using those local experts in those individual destinations that have got first-hand knowledge of the history of the culture of the actual the region.
Mm.
Don't forget with river cruise as well, you don't have to do an hour-long coach journey to get anywhere from an industrial port. You're actually in the heart and soul of the town, the village, or the city
Yeah.
that you're visiting. So coming into Cologne, for example, you can see the spires of the cathedral in the distance, and
Mm.
you're docking right next to the Hohenzollern Bridge, which is very, very central. So you're close to the
Yeah.
cafes and the bars and the restaurants. So after you've done your excursion, your guided tour of Cologne, then you can come back to the ship and you can relax on board, or you can go off again and go and do some shopping, go and spend some time in Cologne doing your own thing. Take one of the bikes that we have on board and go for a bike ride.
Mm.
A lot of people just love the concept of river cruising because it's so relaxing
Yeah.
and it gives them that first-hand experience. More time is spent in those destinations, and like you say, you get to see so much. You'll see
Yeah.
destinations that you never knew that you needed to see. So
I loved it. It was great. It was anyway. Let's keep
yeah,
talking.
definitely. I just wanted to just state as well, obviously we have got our beautiful contemporary river ships, but we also do other destinations as well. So we have got river cruising on the Nile. We have also got river cruising in the Mekong as well, in Vietnam and Cambodia. And we have got a beautiful ship on the Dero. Now, the big breaking news today regarding our Dero ship is we have a brand new ship that's
Ah.
launching for 2024. She's going to be called the MS Estrella. So we at the moment are using the Doro Serenity. However, from 2024, we've got the MS Estrella, and she is going to be very similar to the contemporary ships that we have on the main waterways of Europe.
Yes.
Now, the thing with the Doro is the ships are slightly smaller because they do have to be to get through some of the locks and under the bridges and things.
Mm.
But it's still going to be a contemporary experience. It's still going to be very luxurious,
Mm.
in terms of the facilities, swimming pool on board, putting green on board, wonderful lounge area, etc. So that's the big
Mm.
news for us today. And then just to quickly mention as well, for all your viewers that love cruise, Croatia, we do have cruising in Croatia as well. Now,
Yeah.
small ship yacht cruising has boomed over the past couple of years. I think people are looking for a smaller ship experience post-pandemic.
Yeah.
So we have seen a huge uptake in people looking to book small ship yacht cruises. So again, we can cater for lots of different requirements.
I recently just did my first ever ocean cruise in the Adriatic coast and
Mhm.
absolutely fell in love. It's a region I've slept on for the longest time. But the entire time I was there, watching all the smaller ships going out and exploring all the different islands, the smaller islands, I kept telling myself of this would be incredible on a small ship cruise experience to kind of get off and see those smaller islands, maybe dock out in the ocean and kind of see the ports looking back onto them type of thing, which, and I love ocean cruising. I'm very passionate about ocean cruising, but there's no denying that the smaller ship experience does get you closer to the off-beaten areas type of thing. You do connect to the to regions that you can't get to on ocean. So
Yeah.
I on my bucket list now, which it wasn't originally. Not for me personally. I've sold Croatia small ship cruising, but for me, I was like, no, big ship. I like my
Yeah.
theatre, I like my big entertainment, but definitely seeing those people going off and doing their small ships type of thing, leaving port, I was very jealous. I was like, I would love to
Yeah.
do that one day.
Absolutely. And I think, again, with like exactly like you just said, you can get to the ports that the bigger ships can't get into. You
Mm,
don't sail at night as well. So you're
mm,
actually in port overnight. So you can go off into the town, the city, you can experience
yeah,
that wonderful Croatian hospitality. The food is incredible in Croatia, heavily influenced by other regions.
yeah,
So the food is a real amazing experience. The Croatian people are very friendly. And then you can go back for a sundowner on your private yacht, basically.
yeah.
And the other great thing about the Adriatic is the fact that the islands are very close together as well,
Mm,
so you haven't got to go long distances between them, and the seabed is very, very flat, so the waters are very calm, so you can often do those wonderful ocean swims and things as
yeah.
well. You feel like you're a multimillionaire or jumping off your own yacht into the water. So it is a wonderful experience,
Yeah.
definitely.
And then just briefly again, I know that's not what we're talking about today, but I hear there's the growing market as well for like the Nile, Cambodia, Vietnam as well. I think the market is booming, I believe, isn't it, for those regions as well, of people who are looking to explore river and maybe see more in a more kind of organized. And like, again, some people get really defensive around the word of like organized tour. These are very
Mm.
obviously free organized tours, but I think it's a very good way to see a lot of that region, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, the Nile is certainly bouncing back, big time. People are now looking at, they might have done the Rhine, they might have done the Danube, and they're thinking, okay, what comes next? What can
Mm,
I do next? And the great thing about the Nile is that you're going to have a cruise director that is a qualified Egyptologist.
amazing.
You're going to be able to really get to the nitty gritty of the destination. And, it is going to be normally about a 4 or 5 night trip along the Nile, and then, a few nights in Cairo, but you can add on, the Alexandria 3 night trip. You can add on Jordan and Israel. So you can make this holiday experience what you want it to be. But the Nile is definitely increasing in popularity again. And then obviously with the Mekong, it hasn't bounced back, I think, as quickly as other destinations, because I
Mm,
think that they were one of the last countries to open up fully after the
yeah.
pandemic. But we're certainly seeing more interest now growing within the Mekong.
Mm,
And again, because we are an escorted touring company and a river cruise company, we can combine those itineraries in Asia. So people
mm,
can do the Mekong, but they can also do Halong Bay, Ho Chi Minh City, Siem Reap, Hoi
mhm.
An, and they'll be guided throughout the whole product with those excursions and in those wonderful premium or 5-star luxury hotels and ships.
Amazing. Oh, that sounds amazing. Cool. Well,
Excellent. So we'll go back to the wonderful Travel Marvel ships now, I
yeah,
think, now that we've quickly done a little
yeah.
overview.
It's been a world
But you
tour.
yeah, quick world tour. But yeah, like I said, these ships are absolutely game changing. I think what's showcased in the video beautifully is the design. When you see them from the outside, they look very, very modern, with the tinted windows. And a lot of river cruise ships tend to be quite white or quite cream, whereas we've got a beautiful sort of dark grey hull. And again, it kind of makes you turn your head and have a look. And when I've spoken to fellow passengers, and they've been in a city or a town where they've had to double dock with another ship, they'll walk across the other ship and they'll always be very glad to come back to the Travel Marvel ship, because obviously the nature of river cruising in some destinations means that you're going to have to dock side by side and walk through other ships to get to the port side. And it's just nice to hear that they think, oh, I'm so proud to be on that ship there, because it's such a beautiful contemporary
Mm.
design.
I think it's the
Let's
lovely
move.
warm hug as well, though. I think when you get back on board the ship, it just feels very inviting. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel quite clinical and quite hotel-like. It does feel very much like a warm hug when you walk back on. That's the first impression I had, at least, anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And, don't forget the staff. They are oh my goodness, they are our greatest assets. You know, the cruise directors are some of the best in the business and have been with us for years and years.
Mm.
You know, they are extremely knowledgeable. They can assist in many different ways. And like you say, when you come back to the ship after an excursion, they're waiting for you. They're welcome home. They've got the welcome drinks out for you. They really do make you feel, you know, like it is a home away from home.
Oh, lovely.
Excellent. So just a couple of the facilities then. So there's the picture of the McGeary's Irish themed bar, as you
Mm.
can see at the bottom there. So as I said, this is a great place for, you know, a pint or a beer with your fellow passenger. We do have Guinness and Kilkenny, you know, available because it is Irish themed. It's called McGeary's because it's named after our founding family, and there is sports on TV, you know, bar games, etc. Happy hour between 6 and 7 every day. And then we've got the beautiful True North Lounge, and this is the heart of the ship. Now, this is where the entertainment will be held, where there'll be talks by the cruise directors. Entertainment on board a river cruise ship is low key, so it's not like your big shows on the ocean liners. You know, you might have an ABBA tribute one night and then just a musician playing some 60s music the next night. But it is varied, and it is, you know, catering for the demographic that we have on board the
Yeah.
ship. I don't know what your experience in entertainment on river cruising has been, Kieran. Have you ever?
Yeah, we had kind of violinists and vocalists and things like that, which was lovely.
Yeah,
It's not my cup of tea, but it was lovely to kind of have that and have that local immersion into the ports we were visiting, at least anyway.
yeah.
So yeah, as you say, it definitely is a lot more muted, definitely.
Mm,
As in, if you're someone going on and expecting giant theatres, if you're coming from ocean experience, at least anyway, then definitely it's not that experience. But on the
yeah.
flip side, it is certainly a lot more intimate because there is a smaller lounge, a smaller group of you as well. So you get that closer connection to the entertainment. And
Mm.
especially if you, and I don't know if you guys do it, sorry, but if you have that enrichment program as well, where they are artists brought on from kind of the port you're visiting as well, you're getting that kind of further afield experience as well because you're connecting to the local culture and art as well of the port you're visiting as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, to give you an example of that, one of the insider experiences that we offer under our Travel Marvel product is a Bavarian evening on board
Mm,
one of the ships.
amazing.
So
I'm
we
on
have
board
Bavarian.
already.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much fun. You have these wonderful Bavarian entertainers that come in their costumes. You know, you're going to be up dancing. They've got the folk music going. You've got Bavarian beers. You've got German sausages coming out of everywhere
Amazing.
because everyone's just enjoying this wonderful Bavarian evening. You'll never
Mm.
want to eat a sausage again afterwards. But you know, it is just so much fun, and that's what it's all about. It's
Yeah.
about that immersion into the destination. You know, and in terms of food and things like that, you know, our chefs will use local produce, so
Yes.
they'll create menus to suit the destination that you're traveling through. So not only are you being immersed from an entertainment perspective, but also from cuisine as well. You know, you're going to be able to try those local specialities,
Yeah.
but of course you're still going to be able to enjoy all those international favorites as
Yeah.
well. So, you know, going back to the True North Lounge, this is the heart of the ship. This is where everybody tends to hang out, you know, and meet their fellow passenger. The captain will do a welcome on board. You know, you'll get to meet the crew. And of course, you know, at the front of the True North Lounge, we have a separate alfresco lounge as well. So you
Mm.
can dine alfresco with your light lunch or your afternoon tea as well. So, you know, there's certain areas of the ship that are going to give you lots and lots of things going on, and then other areas that are going to be a little bit more chilled out for you to just relax, read a book, or just grab yourself a G&T. So one of the other facilities that we have on board, obviously, is the amazing sun deck. You know, this is a true highlight for people as well. And the great thing about our contemporary ships is the fact that they're split level. So you've got the main sun deck where you've got a beautiful little whirlpool, which takes between sort of, you know, 4 to 6 people. So you can use that all year round, and the season goes from March through to December. So it is heated, you know, so you can use it in the winter season if you want to as well. But then there's also loads of sun lounges, lots of shade, you know, where you can relax up on that sun deck. But what's great is we also have a lower level as well, which is where we have our rooftop terrace. And this is actually somewhere you can have a barbecue, you can have a drink at a bar. There's plenty of comfortable sofas and things. But the great thing about this area is that you can actually stay up on the sun deck when you're navigating through the locks, which often you have to go into the ship to be able to do. So I've done it myself. I've been up on that sun deck, on that split level at the bottom, so that you can just stay up on the sun deck and watch how close the ships get to each other, going through these giant mechanical structures. You turn into an absolute geek. I really didn't think I'd be that fascinated by it, but it was absolutely wonderful, seeing how close you get to the walls and the way they
Absolutely,
move the
yeah.
ships, So that's a really cool feature about the sun deck as well. But I can't even speak. Predominantly, the sun deck is for relaxing and enjoying those
Yeah.
wonderful views.
Amazing. So it's an incredible way to travel, and as you say, kind of seeing the geeky side of cruising as well, going through the locks. And it- I think if you're just an aficionado of cruising, I definitely think you get that closer connection to how the ship operates, I think, on a river cruise than you do on an ocean cruise, because as you say, quite literally, you can wake up in a lock without realizing it and just literally have the wall
Yeah,
outside your window type of thing, and the next
yeah,
ship directly across you as well. So I think you
yeah,
definitely feel a closer connection to the river and cruising than you would maybe on a larger ocean ship.
definitely. Yeah, absolutely. And, it's an open door policy for the captain. So, most of the time, unless he's super busy, you're able to just go in, say hello, and, he'll talk about the ship and the way that it works. And people can have those pictures, with the captain as well up on the sun deck when he's in the wheelhouse. So, like you say, it's a completely different way of cruising. I think the mistake people make is they think because it's called river cruise, it's going to be similar to ocean cruise. But it is very, very different as a concept. So, yeah, I think you have to understand what it is that you're selecting when you book a river cruise, because it isn't going to be the same as what you would experience on an ocean cruise.
Definitely not, no.
Excellent. And just a couple more pictures there for you. So this is the alfresco lounge part of the True North Lounge. And this is, where those TVs are and you can relax in those lovely big comfortable sofas. And there's bifolding doors at the front so you can dine al fresco as well. And then there's just a picture of the rooftop terrace where you can stand and watch as you go through the locks and under the bridges. Again, it's a fascinating part of river cruising when you actually go under these giant bridges, or even some of the smaller ones.
Yeah.
People are so friendly as well. I don't know what it is. People just want to wave at you. You go past other river cruise ships, everybody's waving at
Yeah.
everybody else. It's just such a friendly and fun and relaxed way to travel.
Oh, no, amazing.
Now, the dining, I've already mentioned this one. I mean, food is one of my favourite subjects, I have to
Yes.
say.
Same.
But it's such an important part of the journey.
Yeah.
Now, it's not fine dining on our Travel Marvel premium product, but it is certainly quality. So,
Mm.
like I said, you're going to get those, those local favourites, but those international dishes that everybody knows and loves as
Yeah.
well. And all the food is included. Now, the great thing is as well, we do have barista coffee available up till 10 o'clock in the morning. After that, barista
Amazing.
coffee would be at a charge, but there is a 24-hour tea and coffee station for people to help themselves to refreshments throughout the day. But the food is all completely included. It's very, very highly regarded. People are telling us how much weight they've put on at
Yeah.
the end of a river
Yeah,
cruise,
yeah, yeah.
because we're constantly enjoying the most incredible options. As I said, the afternoon teas are always a favourite for people because you're often sailing when you have your afternoon tea,
Yeah.
and you're just watching the world go by whilst you're enjoying these delicious pastries and cakes and things like that.
A
So
lovely way
the
to
food is
re-energize when
very
you've been
important.
around in port all day as well. So if you've been kind of busy exploring and doing all the kind of excursions, then getting back onto the ship and having something to look forward to every day and just exploring all the little treats you're getting as well. It's just a lovely way to kind of do that little wind down, I guess, from the day you've had at port.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The afternoon tea is always a favourite part of the day for most people. But
Mm.
you don't want to eat too much because remember, you're going to have a four-course gourmet dinner in
It's
the
a fine
evening.
line, isn't it?
So yeah, so the food is phenomenal. Lots of options for people. We can cater for dietary requirements as well. We just
Yeah,
need to be advised. So
yeah, amazing.
awesome. So if we just move on to the next slide, and I just wanted to quickly talk about the cabins. So
Mm.
did you get to have a look around the cabins when you were on board, Kieran?
I'm trying to remember if we. I don't think we did, and we was trying to work out the other day of there was a reason I think we were late, running late. I think we were either late from conference or meal service before. So by the time we got on the ship, we didn't have much time. So we did the presentation, and then we
Mhm.
went into the Irish bar. So I think we maybe walked out and stuck our head in, but I don't think I had a proper look around from my memory.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, to be honest, again, contemporary style.
Mm,
They're very, very generous in size. So the majority of the cabins on board are these French balcony suites that you
mm,
can
mm,
see on the slide. So the great thing is you've got a lovely wide panoramic window, and that actually retracts in at the touch of a button. So super modern.
mm,
You haven't got to slide your old fashioned sort of balcony door across or
mm,
anything like that. The window retracts in, lets lots of fresh air into your cabin,
yeah.
and you've got a lovely seating area just next to the window, just to
Mm,
watch the world go by. The cabins are generally about 167 square feet in size, fully equipped on suites with toiletries, and you get robe and slippers as well. Full
right.
infotainment system, climate control. Just to mention, the storage was out of this world. I mean, there
Yeah.
was room under the bed to put your suitcases away, full length hanging space, and lots of deep drawers as well. And that really does make a difference, especially if you're doing a 2-week cruise. So you
Yes.
can really pack everything away, and then just hide your suitcase. You don't want to be reminded that you've got to go home at one
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
one point.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of room in there. But I just wanted to also mention very quickly, for people that haven't river cruised before and aren't aware, a lot of the pricing for river cruise, when you are obviously seeing it advertised, generally it is one of the lead-in cabins,
Mm,
as we know with most offers. Now, the lead-in cabins on a river cruise ship are on the lower level, and these are fixed window cabins
mm,
because the water is at chest height. Now, these cabins are still just as beautiful. You can still see the scenery, but
yeah.
of course you're not going to have the full wide panoramic window,
Yeah.
etc. So, at the moment we do have offers where you can get a free upgrade to a French balcony suite. So there are offers where you can grab a bargain and you can get a French balcony for a very good, amount of money. But if you're new to river cruise, it's just worth noticing the difference between the cabins on the lower deck and then on the main and the upper deck,
Mm,
because there is quite a considerable difference to the experience. If
yes.
you're not going to be spending much time in your cabin, then a category E lead-in cabin with a fixed
Yeah.
window will probably do you fine. But if you're the type of person that likes to relax and they like their own space, as well as engaging with fellow passengers,
Yeah.
then a French balcony will be the best option for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a lovely, and I think you can underestimate as well. And I keep talking about this with river, but the connection to the ocean or the rivers, because you're no more than say 2, 3 stories high at any one time, are you? So
Mm,
you're always close to the river. So as soon as you
mm,
step out onto your balcony and kind of look out, you are very close to the environment around you, the river as well. So that
mm,
thing that people crave when they go cruising is that connection to the kind of the world around you. You are closer
mm.
than ever when you do a river cruise. And I think that was my biggest takeaway anyway, as you say, that lovely sitting there with the window open, kind of slowly gliding down the rivers type of thing, and just seeing the world go by, drinking your coffee, or in our case, multiple glasses of champagne. It's just a lovely way to kind of see the world and just relax and unwind, especially if you're doing a scenic cruising day as well, or afternoon. It's a
Oh,
lovely way to do it.
yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some beautiful parts along the rivers. For example, along the Rhine, you've got the Rhine Gorge, which is spectacular. They've got
Mm,
more castles on that particular part of the Rhine than they have on any other river.
yeah.
You never know what's coming around the corner. It's very windy. You've got these beautiful vineyards, cobbled street villages,
Mm,
old ancient ruins, fairy tale castles.
yeah.
It's just spectacular. And then, of course, on the Danube, they've got the wonderful iron gates.
Mm,
So, it depends on obviously where you are and what your day's cruising is.
yeah.
But some people just love those scenic days and having the opportunity to relax in their cabin when they're going through these
Yes.
parts of the river. It really does make the holiday special for them.
Definitely. No, the memories that'll stay with me forever, definitely. I think they're those key, travel moments in your life is river cruising and scenic river cruising is pretty special.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I just wanted to quickly touch as well, just to let everybody know about the routes that we do now. Because we're an Australian-owned company, we're not going to do, our Australian market customers. We're not going to get them to come to Europe just for a week. They're
Yeah.
not going to want to do that. And they're certainly not going to want to go for a week in one direction and then a week in another. So we sell to the UK market, number one, and then we also sell to the Australian and the New Zealand market. So when you're on board the ship, you're going to be with like-minded passengers. We have an agreement with another company, so we can't sell to the North American market. But actually, that works out well for us in the nicest
Yeah.
possible way. Not that we
Yeah.
don't like Americans and Canadians at all. We love them.
Yeah.
However, on our river cruise ships, it's just going to be Aussies, Brits, and Kiwis. So it's a
Yeah.
great atmosphere on board. And because of that as well, we have got a 2-week cruise which starts in Amsterdam and finishes in Budapest, or the other way. Now,
Amazing.
if you're going to Amsterdam to start your cruise, you're actually going to be in port overnight. So you don't actually leave until day 2. So a
Okay.
little bit of a tip for everybody. If you've been to Amsterdam before, start your cruise in Budapest, because you'll get the 24 hours in Budapest before you then leave on day
Mm,
2 on the afternoon to go on off up the Danube, making your way to Amsterdam.
mm,
But there are a number of key locations on this itinerary. I mean, you've obviously got Amsterdam, you've got Cologne, you've got, Vienna, you've got Nuremberg, Bamberg,
mm.
Regensburg, all the bergs are on there. It's just so many locations. I think it's something like 14 locations that you're going to be
Mm,
visiting within the 2 weeks that you're on the river cruise ship.
yeah.
And it is, again, going to take you through some of these beautiful areas, for fantastic photographs, for extra trips as well. So there's one trip that we do that we take guests to Český Krumlov, which is the most gorgeous little town. And again, it's a real hidden gem. So these hidden
Mm,
gems that
mhm.
people didn't
Yeah,
even know about, they're going to be able to
definitely.
experience on a river cruise ship. So the 15 days is obviously a popular one. However,
Next slide.
next slide. On the next one, I just wanted to point out that for our UK guests, we know that most UK guests generally want 7 nights.
Yeah.
So we can do what we call splits. So we can split the itinerary of the European Gems 15 days. So you can either do the Rhine and the Main and then fly home from either Nuremberg or Munich, or you can do the lower part of the Danube, which is the next slide, and you can do the delightful Danube, which is from Nuremberg down to Budapest.
Mm,
So if you just want to do 7 or 8 nights, again, we can cater for that
yeah,
requirement, just going on the trends from the UK and what they're looking for.
amazing. No,
There we go. I just wanted to show you. I know it just could have flipped back to the Doro, but I just wanted to show you the wonderful pictures of the only pictures I have at the moment, actually, of the MS Estrella, which is the new ship that's coming soon. And you can see that different colours, but very similar in style to that wonderful contemporary ship
yeah.
design that we've got on the main waterway of Europe.
Oh, no, it does look beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and I love the choices as well. There's just that little hint of artwork on the wall as well that gives it a bit of character, but still, that, as I mentioned, that really inviting, warm hug feeling you get when you kind of get on board without it feeling overly kind of like a big resort, like all the new kind of resorts are going a bit sterile, aren't they, at the moment? So,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the ships take between, if you're on the Douro, it's going to be probably about 120 to 130 passengers.
mm,
On the main waterways of Europe, it's between 160 and 182.
yeah,
So, these are not big numbers. It's so
no,
easy to get on and off the ships in the
yeah,
destination that you're traveling to. You scan your card, off you go. When you come back
mhm,
on, you scan your card and you're back on.
yeah,
So it's not like you've got to queue for ages to get off the ship, and it's
mm,
very easy for the cruise directors to organise. You'll often go off as well when you do your excursions, whether you're in Amsterdam or Regensburg or anywhere that we do river cruising. You're all going to go in different groups
yeah,
with different local guides. So again, even though you're all getting off maybe in, say, for example, Rudesheim, you're not actually going to be going in one big group. You're going to be going in groups of about 20 to 30 people,
yeah,
and doing different things or taking turns to do different things, so that everybody is constantly, enjoying themselves, but it's not too crowded and it's not like you've got to wait because, you've got lots of people in front of you. So
yeah.
it's very, very well managed.
No, it's lovely, and I think it's a very relaxed way to travel. And as you say, I think you can underestimate as well how close you are to the ports as well, the
Mm,
cities type of thing,
yeah,
and that ease of getting on and off. As you say, is literally a case of stepping on and off like you are leaving a hotel. It is that easy
mm.
type of thing, and you can come and go as much as you please as well. So if you don't want to join the excursions, you want to free explore and just pop out for an hour or two, then come back maybe and go back out again. You are completely free to do that, and it's so easy and convenient to do that type of cruising if you wanted to as well.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. You can make it what you want it,
Mm,
basically, make of it what you want.
yeah,
There are some people that love bike riding, for example. Now we
Yes.
have 20 bikes on board each of our river cruise ships, and it's all based on first come, first serve.
Mm.
But the great thing about river cruising is obviously you're going to be able to follow the ship along the river. So, for, like you said, some locations you might do 2 locations in one day. So, you can actually leave the ship at one point and then ride your bike along the riverside down to the next point and then rejoin the ship. And the cruise directors, they know all the hidden gems in terms of the local beer taverns and restaurants and
Yeah.
cafes for you to enjoy along the way. Or you can just, maybe take a picnic or something and go off and explore and come back to the ship. So, it is, you can make of it what you want effectively. It's such a wonderful way of traveling. I mean, I went on a trip last year after quite a big, operation.
Mm.
And APT sent me off on a work trip, and I was on board the ship, and I can't tell you how wonderfully relaxed I felt
Mm.
just being on board this wonderful contemporary ship with the good humoured the fellow passengers, the lovely staff, and just watching the world go by. It was probably the best recuperation that I could have asked for, even though I was still officially working. But it was wonderful. And like you said, I think it's a real surprise to people when they actually do river cruise. They kind of, wow, this is what river cruising is all about. That relaxed vibe.
Mm.
You can still have so much fun. You can still get up dancing of an evening if you want to. But, you do just ultimately feel incredibly relaxed and
Yeah.
fulfilled at the end of your itinerary, because you're going to see so much and you're going to be able to do so much as well.
Fulfilled is definitely the best word I can use to describe it, type of thing. Of the number of as having those excursions included meant that I was going to places I probably would never have considered going to, and I learned so much about the regions we were sailing through, the local culture, the local art, local artisans as well. The things that we got to do were things I would never have considered doing, and at the end of the trip, I was overwhelmed by just how much in this short time we did. I think it was like a 5-night sailing. Just
Mhm.
overwhelmed by the amount of things we did in those 5 nights. So, we visited so many different historical, because obviously there's a lot of heritage with regards to the war in the kind of the Danube region as well.
Yeah,
It's just incredible type of thing to have that, but then also to meet kind of local artisans as well. That connection to the local community. I generally believe there's no better way to see Europe and to see multiple kind of regions of Europe in a week or 2 week sailing. I don't think you
yeah.
can do it any better way if you really want to get that authentic connection to the not big city Europe experience. I think there's no better way to do it than by river.
Absolutely. And, the value for money is incredible as well.
Yeah.
I know we've touched on, the inclusions, but when you look at what's included, and you think, wow, that's for 7 nights, and I'm seeing 7 or 8 different destinations. And within that, there may be 2 or 3 cities. If you think about what you would pay for a 3 or 4 night city break,
Yeah.
and then compare that with river cruising and all those inclusions,
Hmm.
you can see how amazing,
Yeah.
in terms of value for money, river cruising really, really is. So if you love a city break, if you love, sort of escorted touring, if you love adventure travel, if you like multi-center holidays,
Mm.
have a look at river cruising, because river cruising isn't just a second choice for ocean cruisers. They'll
Yeah.
eventually try river cruising once they've done the ocean cruise that they want to do, and they've exhausted every itinerary that
Yeah.
they, every ship that they want to see, and then they kind of think, okay, what's next? But it is a different concept
Yeah.
to ocean cruising. So those people that do love city breaks, that like those multi-centers, have a look at river cruising, because I'm sure that you'll be amazed at what's included and the value for money as well.
Definitely. Yeah. No, you can't fault the value for money angle on it. Definitely not. Yeah.
Excellent. So that is pretty much me in a nutshell in terms of what I've got to tell you.
Mhm.
Obviously, lots is going on here at APT and APT Travel Marvel.
Yeah.
I am so delighted with what I'm hearing as well in terms of new ships that are coming to the company over the next couple of years as well. So, basically, watch this space. And I think, working with Magical Traveller is going to be so important for us in terms of building our brand awareness,
Mhm.
getting our name out there with you guys,
Yeah.
working together. So it's super exciting times.
No, definitely, and I'm really grateful that you've came on as well, because I definitely see a synergy, at least anyway. So a lot of our customers have booked a lot of premium travel experiences, and I think the Travel
Mhm.
Marvel brand fits into that category as well. So you are going to be paying obviously a little bit more than you would maybe if you were to do it by yourself and kind of go off and doing that city break thing. But it's that value, and that's the thing I'm very passionate about as well. Is kind of picking those products. I think for customers' work that you do definitely see the value for money. And I
Yeah.
definitely think as well with river cruising, especially, but especially with the Travel Marvel product as well, the value for money can't be denied of how much you're paying. And as you say, for if you rack up kind of those overnight center of city, like we can underestimate, these are center of the city. You're not kind of
Mm.
staying in the sticks at the back somewhere. You are literally right in the heart of the city. Your meals included, your drinks included, excursions included as well. And
Yeah.
you've also got your mode of transportation. So if you had to fly between all these different cities as well, you were traveling, that
Yeah.
cost would rack up quite quickly. And the other thing of this is you're doing it in a lovely, premium luxury way of doing these things as well. You're not kind of having to get a bus or a train somewhere and dealing with everyone fighting with each other and your suitcases
Yeah.
having to be hustled and bustled about. You're traveling, you unpack once, see,
Yeah.
4 or 5 different regions of Europe, wined and dined the whole way. Like I can't fathom why you wouldn't want to do it this way. It's just a perfect way to see Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. You just hit the nail on the head there, Kieran. Unpack once and then off you go. Your
Yeah.
floating boutique hotel is going to take you through the most incredible
Mm,
regions of Europe or, wherever else you may decide to go.
mm,
And it is a true treat. So, definitely do look at river cruising, look at what's included. Even if you've not thought about river cruising before and think, okay, demographic wise, it's going to be a completely different age group to myself. Well, we're certainly seeing a younger age demographic now
Absolutely.
looking at river cruising as a
Yeah.
valuable option, as a holiday
Yeah.
experience. So when I was on board last year, there were people in their late 40s on board. I
Mhm.
mean, historically, it was normally, 55
Yeah.
plus,
Yeah.
average age of 70, etc. But my goodness, that age is certainly coming down, especially with the launch of these new modern contemporary
Absolutely.
ships.
Yeah.
And people are now looking a little bit more about what's the where can I go, what destinations do I get to see. They don't just want to fly and flop anymore. People
Yes.
love to do that, of
Yeah.
course, but they're also looking for something else, and river cruising does give people a fantastic experience. It's very
Yeah.
Instagrammable as well. Some of these
100%.
locations
Yeah. I've got
they're
thousands
beautiful.
of pictures from our river cruise. I think I still haven't even scratched the surface of the pictures I've shared from our river cruise experience. Just around the ship. Just the ships are incredible as well, and just kind of all the beautiful artwork and the lounges. Just relax in the lounge with the cocktails. So you can definitely live that kind of VIP lifestyle on Instagram as well. But then, as you
Yeah.
say, then going around some of the most iconic, most picturesque backdrops. Like our
Mm.
scenic section, we did. I can never remember the name of the area we did. It'll come to me. But the scenic we did on the Danube, just gorgeous. And just as you say, every bend you turn, there's another beautiful building to look at, another beautiful landscape to look at. It's just time
Yeah.
after time after time. You're just like, this is incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely the really Instagrammable, and not just that, it's enriching as well. It's enriching you as a person. It's not just look at me in this beautiful place. You're
Mm.
enriched because you've seen these amazing destinations, and your guide will then bring those destinations to life as well. So you're learning
Yeah.
about the environment and the culture you're going through as well, and just
Yeah.
how the ships connect as well to the communities they're traveling through as well. I think is a really important thing to think about as well. And yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and just to touch on multi-generational travel as well, again,
mm,
another example, I was on board a couple of times last year, and on one of the trips, there was a 16-year-old on board
yeah,
with his grandparents because he was doing GCSE photography.
yeah,
So he'd gone with his grandparents to go and get some great imagery of Europe and key locations, but he was having the time of his life. So again, we see so many more, customers now coming through. It's not just about, typical XYZ average age 70,
absolutely,
etc. It's now so much more than what
yeah.
it ever used to be. And it's certainly, a huge growing part of the industry. So
Yeah, definitely. No, fab. No, thank you, Becky. I think it's been a really good kind of overview into it, and APT, but especially Travel Marvel as well. And I think it's really exciting to see what you guys are doing, and really excited to kind of get to work closer together as well. So what I'll do is I'll
yeah.
definitely put some content on the website as well. So if anyone wants to learn a little bit more about kind of Travel Marvel and the itineraries we've been talking about today, then I'll have a blog post I'll link below this as well, so you can kind of hunt them down. And if you are interested in booking, then obviously, as always, you can hunt me down online. Our website is magical-traveler.com, and you can find me on all the social media as well under magical TRVLR. If you guys are interested in river cruising, especially with Travel Marvel, definitely get in touch and we can have a chat to you about what itineraries are available, kind of seasonality seasonality and all that type of stuff. That's why we work with our brand managers, like Becky as well, so that they can give us the advice. If you've got questions of like, when's the best time, when's the cheapest time, what's the seasonality of it, all that type of stuff, then, if I don't know the answer, that obviously, as you now know, I know the person to go to help me get those answers to make sure you guys get the best possible sailing as well. But other than that, guys, once again, thanks, Becky, for coming on. I really appreciate it, even. And we'll see you on the next video, guys. Bye.
Thanks so much.